What's going on, YouTube, man? Today we have a little bit of a different video, but I think it's well worth it. I'm gonna give you my controller settings, my audio settings, my graphics settings. Now, unfortunately, for my console players, when I'm done giving my settings and my controller settings, my audio settings, and just a little bit of my graphics settings, the settings that towards the end is going to favor a little bit towards PC, because with PC, of course, you know that you could do a lot more other things than with console, but you will get the other settings along. The only difference is PC players will get that additional setting, which is the NVIDIA settings. But I'm going to get your game looking like from this to this, so please stay tuned for that. Make sure you guys like the video, make sure you guys subscribe, make sure you guys do comment if you do like what I posted, and let me know what you think about the settings as well. Let's try to get this video to 10 likes. I want to have this community a little bit more engaged, especially people that follow me and subscribe on this channel. I want you guys a little bit more engaged in this channel, so make sure you guys get this video to 10 likes, please. Make sure you share this video. This video for me is going to be one of the best videos on this channel thus far, because I think this can take your playing level and your playing skills to the next level. Not to mention it can help you in Warzone when staying further, shooting, keeping your accuracy on point. So make sure you guys continue watching this video. Hey, so let's get straight to it. Alright guys, so now we're in the settings tab. So let's get the game and the settings going. So like I said, I do not play on keyboard or mouse, so that category unfortunately is just not for me. Okay, so let's start with our general tab. So in game and what your screen is gonna look like, how much stuff you can get. Okay, so first of all, like I said, I do play on controller. I do not have my controller connected right now. I just have my keyboard or mouse, so that's why you see that category on keyboard and mouse. Of course, when you plug in a controller, you're going to be able to switch from both of those. Now, this is the PC part. Field of view. PC only gets this option. Console, unfortunately, does not. I know with the PS5 and when Cold War, something like that comes out, you guys will get the FOV slider, or what you guys call it. But as of now, PC only gets this option. So, in my personal preference, a lot of people usually go about 100, 170. I like doing 120, which is the max. Now, here's where the tricky part gets in, and this is where you see the controller players are able to control their aim literally, and it does not have any recoil. Now, like I said, if you play on PC and you have controller, this is where this setting comes into part. Usually it comes in on independent, but if you switch it to affected, it kind of gives you this image where if I'm shooting to somebody, it does not zoom in. It kind of just stays far back if you're unaffected, which allows you to kind of control that recoil a little bit more, because that person that you're shooting does not really move. That's what that setting's for, and that's what a lot of PC players have switched to, and that's what a lot of controller players have switched to that play on PC, because that setting alone helps a lot with the aim. So if you're on PC, switch that setting, please. Brightness, I put my brightness to 62. A lot of people prefer it different, but that's just what I prefer. This stuff I really didn't touch. I left it the same. Skip introduction movie, I have that enabled, but a lot of people put it disabled. That really, honestly, I really didn't care for it. The tooltips, didn't touch that. Subtitles, didn't touch that. Colorblind, now I do suggest that you switch it to this setting right here. It's just, I like the way how the image looks better, and it's whatever your preference is, but that is what I prefer. Your colorblind target, you should switch it to both. Do not, I think it comes in like this, switch it to both. Minimap, you put a square. With circle and square, with square you're able to cover a lot more ground when you're in Warzone. If you notice here, you have your circle right there, and look at the square. These little corners right here, believe it or not, add up. They add up a lot. In your circles, in your circle map, you don't get any of that stuff. No, all this right here is missing. So that's the reason why a lot of players have switched to square in Warzone, because of the simple fact that you're able to cover these corners in the map. And believe it or not, let's say you have a UAV and somebody pops up in that corner. With the circle, you don't see that. With the square, you see that. So that's the reason why that's at square. Mini map rotation, I have that enabled because if I'm turning and if I'm running, the map automatically switches to where I'm facing, rather than if I'm facing this way, the map is still facing that way and it's pointing to everything behind me. I don't like that, so I have that enabled. Everything else stays the same. I really don't touch. This right here is for my PC players, so I have this enabled. It shows me my FPS, my server latency. It shows me that in game. So what is like my ping, what you call it, just call it latency. Packet loss, I have that. This other stuff I really don't have. I don't like too much stuff on my screen, so I kind of just leave those three alone, and that's what's most important for me. Now my graphics, I play on a monitor. I don't play on a TV. I don't play on anything else. I play on a monitor, which I believe is the best option for Warzone or any game that you're playing, because of, I don't know, just the monitor alone. It's just better than playing on a TV. So I do have this full screen. I do play on a Scepter. If you do not know what my gaming setup looks like, you can check out my old video on my gaming setup. It's a new renovated gaming setup, so you guys can check that out as well. I play on a dual monitor, but my gaming monitor is a 144 hertz monitor. It's a Scepter, 24-inch. This shows my graphics card. That really doesn't matter. My refresh rate, like I said, it's 144 hertz. I do put my render resolution to 1080p. It just shows the clearest for me. If you play on a 4K monitor, I believe you can go up, something like that. This display resolution, if you press on the little tab right here, advanced, that you just switch that to 1920 by 1080p. Everything else here I really don't touch, since my PC is a little bit of a budgeted PC. My settings are not going to be as if my PC was beefed up. So here are the settings. My texture resolution, like I said, since it's a budgeted PC, everything has to be low. I do look to upgrade, but as of now, these are what my settings are. So my texture resolution is a low, texture filter is low, everything pretty much is low, particle quality low, bullet impact sprays, I usually have that enabled, but I recently just took that off. It's just personal preference. Tessellation, I usually have this on near, but I kind of disabled it. Really doesn't matter to me neither. On-demand texture streaming is enabled. Streaming quality is normal. So my shadow map resolution is low. My spot shadows are enabled. My sun shadows are enabled. Usually a lot of people have this disabled, but I have it enabled. It's really personal preference. Particle lighting, I do have that low. That's when like a fire's up, it's usually too bright, or I don't know, it's just usually too bright, so I have that low. And the rest of it is just disabled. Now this part right here, a lot of people have this off, or some people, if depending on what type of like if they have a beefed up PC, you're able to go up here, but I don't. So I usually leave this at SMAA 1X, and everything else is disabled. Filmic Strength, I leave that 100. World motion blur, this is a very important one. People, turn this off. This is when you're turning in a game and it's blurred as you're moving. You don't want that. You want to be able to see everything as you're moving. So if I'm moving to my right or my left, I can still see from my peripherals. So that's what that does. So please turn that off. Weapon motion blur, turn that off. That's the same thing. Film grain, I usually leave that at 0. A lot of people can put it at 0. I'm 100. It just leaves your game very staticky like that. So the image to the right, it's not that. So I suggest you leave it at 0. So now my audio, I do play on boost high. A lot of people say that this setting right here is the best, or you can try boost low. For me, everything is just so, with boost low, everything is just so like the audio is inside. I just don't not crazy about it. I like everything loud and clear, so I prefer boost high. Master volume, now if you do put this to 100 and you have your headphones all the way high, the game can get very loud, which is very annoying. So I believe mine's at 80. Music volume, I literally turn that off. I don't like, so that's this. I don't really care to hear that, so I put that at 0. I don't really care to hear that. Dialogue volume, that's when, so let's say you're rezzing somebody and they say, oh, you'll be all right, that's that volume there. Or like if they say UAV overhead, that's that volume right there. the effects button. So your footsteps, or like bombs that you may hear that go off from a distance, that's what that volume is for, which I prefer to put that at 100. I like to hear everything around the map. If there's something to my left, to behind me, to my right, in front of me, I like to be able to hear all that. Juggernaut music, this one I really don't know what it does, but I just have it enabled. I mean, it is what it is. Hit marker sounds, a lot of people put the MW. I like the classic. A lot of people have none, but I like classic, so it just gives me that classic MW3 type vibe. So that's what I do. Voice chat enabled, all this other stuff, voice chat device, whatever, blah blah blah. Voice chat recording mode, open mic, of course. If you turn it off, nobody's gonna be able to hear you, so you put an open mic. Microphone volume, that is adjusted by your volume, or your opponent's volume, or your friends that you're playing with volume, if it's too loud. Everything else here, I mean, this is self-explanatory. I think all this stuff you just leave it default. Now my controller settings, the part that you guys been waiting for. So I've noticed a lot of YouTubers who play on PC but play on controller have switched to tactical. I really don't like tactical, so I stay on default, as you guys do know. And if you don't know, you can check out my other videos. I play on a Battle Beaver, so I do have the buttons in the back, paddles, buttons, whatever. Scuff comes with paddles. I have buttons back there. I play with 2 buttons. I'll show you guys now. So these are the 2 buttons that you can't see it from this distance, but the 2 buttons are right here. One's right there, and the other one's right there. So I play with the 2 buttons back there. This one is my slide. Yeah, this one's my slide, and this one's my jump. So my right is my jump, my left is my slide. Yeah, I almost got mixed up there. So yeah, I do play on default. My stick layout is default. Invert vertical look disabled. Dead zone, now this is a big thing. I really don't care for this. A lot of people choose 0.03. A lot of people choose 0.04, 0.02, 0.05. It's just personal preference. I think that has to do with a lot of stick drift or whatnot. I really don't have stick drift. A lot of people also say that if you put it to such and such dead zone, it helps with aim. I really don't believe that, so I just had it kind of default. I played with it a little bit, so I just left it at 0.05. Now, a lot of people play on 6, 7, 8, 5. I'm more of an insane person. I like to turn quick and snap on people. I like to have that effect of just being able to just turn quick and shoot. So I do play on Insane 2020. It is different. If you play on PC and your setting is at Insane 2020, the setting is a lot different on PC than console. On PC, it's a lot easier to control. On console, it is not easy to control. So all props to you guys who play on Insane 2020 and able to control it on console. My ADS, I have this one at 0.80. I actually got this from Mutex and it works best for me. I tried 1.0, but it just wasn't for me, so I tried 0.80 and it fit perfect for me. I actually give credit to Mutex. That's where I got that from. The second high zoom, I really don't touch that one. Aim response curve type, a lot of people choose linear, standard. No, a lot of people have standard, my bad. I just chose dynamic. Controller vibrations, you have that off, please. So let's say you're shooting somebody or you're getting shot, your controller's vibrating. Usually that can mess up your aiming. So imagine you trying to aim and hold the controller steady, but your controller is vibrating. That's a no-go. So turn that off. Not to mention on my controller, I have the vibration rumbles out of my controller, so I really don't deal with that. Aim assist, I have that on standard. A lot of people have tried focusing, precision. It's just personal preference, but I really don't see a difference in them, so I choose standard. The rest of this, believe it or not, is all the same. And usually default. Now weapon mount, exit, that one you guys should already have that default. Aim down sight behavior, you already have the hold. Equipment behavior, I have that one on hold. So let's say if I'm ready to throw a lethal or a tactical for a flashbang or something like that, I usually just hold it. So for instance, like a heartbeat, instead of having it on toggle or anything like that, you have it on hold. So like let's say if I have my heartbeat out, I just hold the button and it keeps the heartbeat out. Use reload behavior, I have contextual tap, which is for me the best for Warzone. You can pick up guns really fast. You can just, it's a click of a button rather than having it on tap to use or tap to reload. Contextual tap just allows you to loot a lot faster. Depleted ammo switch, I have that enabled. Slide behavior, tap, that's how you're able to use your slide cancel. So instead of you having it on hold, which really is very, very difficult to slide cancel with that, I put it on tap. And you guys know me from my gameplay, I slide cancel a lot. That's all I do. Slide cancel, slide cancel, slide cancel. So I have that on tap. Auto move forward, I have that disabled. That's when, like, let's say for, I don't know if you guys have played Fortnite, when you guys go over, you can double click your moving forward button and it automatically moves forward. I have that disabled. Automatic tactical sprint is my automatic sprint category or whatnot. A lot of people do not like this because a lot of people nowadays use shotguns in Warzone. So with automatic tactical sprint, you are not allowed to shoot the shotgun while you're moving forward because you're automatically sprinting. So a lot of people usually just put disabled, and that's when you have to like click the L3 button to move forward. So you're allowed to use your shotgun. Not to mention too, if you're in a building and you're trying to crouch or sneak up on somebody, automatic tactical sprint does not allow you to do that while you're crouched. So I still just have mine on automatic tactical sprint. I don't really use shotguns like that. I'm more of an MP5 type of guy. I like to just move fast around inside a building. So that's my preference on that. On video camera recenter, I have that enabled. Parachute auto deploy, no, do not put enabled. Reason being is, right, I've had this happen to me a lot in late game. So let's say, right, the circle's small, I'm flying in, my friend just bought me in. You know, it drops you to a certain distance when you're above an object. So for instance, right, let's say there's a team camping on a building and it drops you literally right above them, but from a certain distance. They're able to just shoot me. They're able to just shoot me rather than having no auto deploy, and I can control when I pop my parachute and where I pop my parachute and how low I can pop my parachute, if that makes sense. So let's say instead of me popping my parachute up there in front of them where they can just shoot me out of the sky, I pop my parachute when I go down below the building. So I'll get close down to the first floor of that building and then pop my parachute. And that way I don't get shot. It's a lot difficult for them to shoot me out of the air. So that's why I have that disabled. And then everything else, this side, you guys really don't need that. And those are my settings for my PC players out. This is where the game and the graphics become a lot better in Warzone. So you guys do need an NVIDIA card. So what you're going to do is you're going to use your color filters. Of course, it's called the Geforce experience. You should have that automatically downloaded on your PC. So to access your color filters, you're going to press Alt-Z. It should take you to this Geforce experience tab. Now, if you do want to get this part enabled and you're pressing Alt-Z and it does not go, just download Geforce experience. You can look it up on Google. Look up Geforce experience. It's going to allow you to download. You're going to link your accounts to each other. And what you're going to do is you're going to take note. You're going to go to your settings tab. Your settings tab, then it's going to give you all these options. The very first option is enable Geforce experience. Click that check mark. Then you're going to turn on in-game overlay, and that's going to allow this. So skip to that part. You're going to press Alt-Z. It's going to take you to this tab. You're going to go down here to this section, game filters. Now, that's how it looks off, and that's how it looks on. And if you don't like these filters, you can always turn them off and you don't need them. So you're going to press the number 1 button. You're going to create it now. This really should be blank for you. If you have not used this before, this should be blank for you. What you're going to do is you're going to press add filter. You're going to go down to the scroll. It's going to give you all these settings, right? You don't want that. I already have that. So the first thing that I downloaded or added to the little board, whatnot, was color. So you're going to go here. These are my settings for color. Tint color is 10%. Tint intensity is 24%. Temperature is at 0. Vibrance is at 60. You're going to close this tab out. You're going to add another tab. So you're going to go up to here to add filters. And you're going to look up sharpen. You're going to click on the sharpen. It's going to give you 2 options. Sharpen, I have that at 70%, which allows definition of the images on your game. So the gun, the character, the sharpness of those things. Ignore film grain. I had that to 100%. You're gonna close this tab. You're gonna add another tab, and it's gonna be called. Hold on. Let's close this out. Let's close this out. You're gonna add another tab. It's brightness and contrast. You're gonna click on it. It's gonna give you all these options. My exposure is at 0%. My contrast is at 41%. My highlights is at negative 50%. My shadows is at negative 42%. And my gamma is at 0%. If you do need to pause the video so you guys can take a picture of all this stuff. And that way, if I'm moving too fast, you can always just pause the video. That is the clear image that you guys see on my gameplay when I post on YouTube, maybe Instagram, and all my socials. So these are the settings that I use. These are the settings that I believe are the best and that allow your gaming experience and your gaming performance and your skills to enhance. Make sure you give these settings a try. Like I said, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, comment, let me know what you think on my settings. Let me know what settings you also run as well. Let's get this video to 10 likes. That would mean a lot. I want to get this community more engaged. So guys, please like the video, please share the video, and without further ado, bro, I'll catch you guys in the next one.